Armory disc golfers, welcome back to another video. That's what you came to see. It's a Simon Lizotte Zombie Hex. But we've also got a couple other first runs and special edition stamps. And we're gonna take a look at all of these as we play 9 holes here at Research Park. Let's get into it. First up, we have the Discraft Cicada. This is actually dropping today, assuming that I get this edited in time. This is a 7.6 -1-1, supposed to be slightly understable fairway driver. Should be perfect for a hole like this, where you really just want to throw like a frozen rope, 305, 315 feet, something like that. Like I said, 305, 315 feet, frozen rope. Oh, it's got a little bit of turn to it, which is what I've heard about these. That's interesting to see. And I hope you like what you see from the Cicada. Well, maybe not that throw, but in general throughout the video, because later I'll be telling you how you can go home with it. All right, first putt of the day. Come on. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, stop moving. Oh boy. Oh, nothing but a thing. All right, we're on our way. I realize that the Cicada isn't necessarily a Halloween release, but it's a bug, it's in orange and black, it's spooky enough. Next up, we have the Horny Toad. This has flight numbers of 4303, and Lone Star has tried a couple times to make an overstable approach disc that mimics a zone, but I think they finally got it right with this one. We'll check it out here. I mean, that's the flight you, this disc sucks. That's the flight you want out of this sort of slot disc. These have a real nice round feel to them, and they're really flat top, maybe even a little puddle topped, which is perfect, especially if you like these for forehand approaches. I mean, I even like it for backhand approaches, but especially for forehand approaches, I really like the super flat top or even concave dome or lack thereof on that disc. The jumpers feel good, but they're not going in. I would be remiss if I were not to show you the stamp on this bad boy, because that's one of the cool things about it. And spoke to some people from Lone Star and was told that these are what we should be receiving for this first batch of them, and then stock stamps will come later on. So October 31st, available in Alpha and Bravo. I'm gonna throw it here back to back. This is a 500-foot par 4, so we're gonna see how far this sucker can fly, how it behaves on flex forehands and all that. I mean, I threw that pretty hard on a good amount of anhyzer, and it's coming back at the end. That's a stable approach disc. A more aggressive play here is a turnover, and it looks like the Cicada would actually be great for something like that. So we're just gonna pop this on a little bit of anhyzer and hopefully let it drift all the way there. Yeah, I mean, that's really smooth. Man, that sucker was still moving too. I have not forgotten about the Lizotte. I'm throwing it on the next hole, but this one sets up really well for a flex shot into this spike hyzer with the Frisky Frog. Fight through it, nice. Now, obviously, Lone Star fans are going to be excited for this release, but seriously, if you're looking for an overstable zone slot, I mean, this seems really good. We've got the star of the show. Total Eclipse Hex. These are actually really gummy. They feel amazing. I like a mid-range that I can dig into a little bit, particularly for backhands. 5.5 -1-1. You know how a Hex flies. If you don't, check this out and you can get my opinion on it. Spoiler alert. Let's see if this run lives up to that standard. Now, I could be wrong. That was my first ever throw with it. 1, laser beam, best mid-range in the universe. 2, I think those are gonna be less stable than Neutron Hexes. For reference, here's my Neutron Hex. It's been in the bag for about 2 months now, and it's my go-to mid. And I think that I saw just a little bit of turn up out of that Hex. I don't know, it's real close. I mean, it's real close. MVP is super consistent. That's one of the big things that like sets them apart as one of the top dog disc manufacturers. So maybe I'm wrong there. Either way, first impressions, Total Eclipse Hex is nice. Hole 8 is a par 4, 620 feet. You typically don't want an understable fairway driver here, but you guys deserve to see how this flies on full power on a hyzer. But for the sake of the hole, I am going to put this on a good amount of hyzer. I mean, they go far. That is a pretty understable flight. I'm gonna compare it to the Star fairway driver, and you're still petty for that. that also has 7.6, -1.1 flight numbers. Though honestly, I'm starting to think that I might put the Cicada at a -1.5, maybe -2 turn. But again, I've only thrown it, what, 2-3 times? Yeah. I mean, I'm throwing that on pretty spike hyzer, but I just feel like that actually has more of a -1 turn, whereas the Cicada got all the way from hyzer flipped over before coming back at the end. And I'm aware that comparing across brands can be tricky, that Innova's -1 turn may not be the same thing as Discraft's -1 turn. I'm just saying, as a consumer, I look at it and I say, oh, 7.6, -1.1. That reminds me of an FD. So I expect it to fly like that. Whereas again, it looks like the Cicada might be a tick less stable than that. All right, 287, a little bit downhill, perfect range for a hex. Okay, well, that little bit of turn maybe was fabricated in my head. For some reason, I thought that was going to flip all the way over. It did not. Let's see what we can do with some real aggressive Anheuser backhand here. Oh my gosh, that thing is stable. That is absolutely parked, and that is crazy. You know what, actually I'm glad that this didn't go underneath the basket, because I don't want my hex to be that flippy out of the box anyway. And number two, because my jumper, forget point number two. Our 6-hole lines up perfect for this Amorous Amphibian. We got a double Mando here between the trees, so I'm just gonna aim this one at the left side tree on a little bit of hyzer and have it swoop in between them. Ooh, push straight. Snuck past it. I mean, that's like a 30-footer. Yes. Man, I tell you what, my putting has felt great today. So back to the Cicada, this is rocking a low profile, and though it has a little bit of a shoulder, it is really comfortable for forehand as well. I'd feel really confident smoothing this thing out, hyzer flip to flat, maybe even a little bit of turnover. And I'll even try it here. We got 330 feet to the basket. Nice, gentle flex over there, and still enough at the very end to come out of it. Tickled some leaves, but that's a really smooth flight, and it felt like I didn't have to throw the disc hard at all to achieve something like that. This is my typical play, and we all want to see hexes fly. These release on October 11th, and if you go to armorydiscgolf.com right now, which I recommend that you do, you'll see that these are listed as sold out, but on drop day, we're going to have a handful available. We pre-sold a lot of them, but we want to keep a few back for drop day because some people like the excitement of all that. So these will be there on drop day. Come check us out. Oh yeah, no, those aren't, I wouldn't say that's a flippy hex at all, but it is a hex. And now would be a good time for me to talk about the giveaway for this bad boy. Super simple to enter into the giveaway. Just let me know which of these 3 new releases you're most excited about and why. We'll pick a winner in the next few days and get this headed out to you. Man, feels poppy. Cicada, perhaps I treated you too harshly, because I have been throwing this disc over 7 speed. So maybe I do need to just tone down on it a little bit and understand that this is 1, great for lower arm speeds, 2, great for the woods. Let's see how it flies on just a nice smooth shot. I still think that it's flippy, but I also think that that disc is really easy to go really straight with very little power. And if you don't win the giveaway, do not fear. We have a whole bunch of these, whole bunch of different colors, whole bunch of different weights at Armory Disc Golf, ready for you on drop day. Here we're gonna take the Horny Toad, plunk it down next to the basket. Oh, you need to go. Wasn't scared for a second. And we'll have a nice easy tap it. 9th and final hole, but I'm gonna get a couple cracks at it. I'm gonna throw the Cicada from the long tee. It's about 370 feet. And then I'm gonna go down here to the sidewalk and throw the Horny Toad and the hex at it. Break a little bit. Yes. Go in the basket. Go in the basket. Oh! I'm telling you, I do think that it's a little less stable than -1.1. Tell me that's not a good disc. All right, we got 275-ish from right here. Hex on the Anheuser, and I'm gonna need to throw the Horny Toad on the Anheuser too. Check up. Whee! Squeaked long on that one. Honestly, with how stable this is, it might be kind of a pump to get it uphill 275. Good thing I pump. Flare over there. Okay, apparently I don't pump. That's like 40 feet short. Okay, I don't know, I'm drunk or something, because this thing is like just about pin high, like 15-ish feet left. This guy is absolutely parked though. And that'll do it for me. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, of course, leave a like rating, subscribe so I can catch you in more videos. Check out some of these if you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one.